Hi friends, today we'll discuss about ISO 20022 messages. What is ISO 20022 message? ISO 20022 message is emerging global and open standard for payment messaging. It creates a common language and model for payments data across the globe. On that provides higher quality data than other standards, which means higher quality payment for all. The objective of this international organization for the standards ISO standard is to accomplish a global convergence of existing and new message standards from various segments of the financial industry. So banks, all these are come under financial industry. ISO 20022 not only include payment transaction and account reporting message, but also covers other areas including security trading, foreign trade and treasury transaction. These ISO 20022 can be implemented. ISO 20022 is an ISO standard for electronic data interchange between financial institutions. It describes a metadata repository containing descriptions of messages and business processes. So any interchange, financial interchange from one institution to another institution, these messages will be used. Important. What is the importance of the ISO 20022? Is a global and open standard for payment messaging provided significantly rich and better structured data. The benefit of this is a better payment experience for your customers, plus improved efficiency and compliance, as well as harmonization with international payment systems. So that's why it is important. Is ISO 20022 mandatory to implement all the financial and banks? ISO 20022 migration is not a mandatory from a regulatory perspective, but those that do not act now risk being extended from international payment systems. Names related to the payments and related to the ISO 20022. BDD, business direct debit. BIC, business identifier code. CAMT, cash management, denotes XML message used between bank and post finance and customer. The ISO 200 message CAMT 052 for intraday account statement. Bank to customer statement CAMT 53 is used by financial institutions for providing electronic account information to their customers. Debit and credit notifications are covered in the ISO 200 standard by CAMT 54 messages. Direct debit, the debitor can authorize the biller to debit the amount due directly from his account. Electronic credit advice of post finance resulting from slip based electronic payment transactions. IID, the institution identification. IS, imp payment slip, refers to the red payment slip used in Switzerland with money can be transferred to an account. ISR, imp payment slip with reference number, refers to the orange payment slip in electronic payment order is proprietary format or ISO 200 standard of post finance. International bank account IBAN is the international standard for representation of account number when you are transferring money cross border, then IBAN is mandatory. International Organization for Standardization ISO, large worldwide organization that develops international standards. PACS, payments clearing and settlement, denotes XML messages used between banks, which is defined in the ISO 20022 standard. PAN, payments initiation, denotes XML message used between customer and bank, which is defined in the ISO 20022 standard. The customer credit transaction information PAIN 001 XML message used for electronic commissioning of payment order by the customer, the payment submitting financial institution. The XML message customer payment status, it can be returned, rejected, should be shown in PAN 002 is used by the financial institution to inform customer about the status. PAN 001 credit transfer order, PAN 008 collection order that has been submitted. The customer direct debit initiation PAN 008 XML message used the electronic commencing collection order by customers to financial institution. The quick response code QR code is a two-dimensional barcode. It is consists of square matrix of black and white dots that represent encoded binary data. Special marking is 3 of 4 corners indicate the orientation. Single Europe Payment Area SEPA is the area of EU EEA member status plus Switzerland, where citizens, companies and other economic actors will able to make and receive payments in euro, whether between or within the normal boundaries under the same basic condition, rights, obligations regardless of their location. SEPA credit transfer scheme is the payment scheme for making euro credit transfer across SEPA as set out in the respective rule book. The SEPA direct debit scheme is a pan-European direct debit system that enables merchants to collect euro payments from accounts in participant countries. An STP transaction occurs when, after being generated and routed through all involved payment system, it can be processed by the creditor financial institution without manual intervention. XML is a markup language for the representation of attributary data structure. The ISO20022 standard messages for data exchange between customers and banks are based on XML. What are the greatest challenges regarding the migration from other messages to ISO20022? In the transition phase, the payment instructions must function simultaneously according to both the old and the new procedures, standards and formats. At present, if you are using ISO 853, when you are migrating to ISO 2002, initially you have to maintain both. Even if you are using empty format, then you have to follow empty and you have to use the ISO 20022 during the migration. On the other hand, after the migration, the new infrastructure must provide availability and quality equal to the current ones. ISO 20022 based messages are used to communicate between creditor and debitor financial institution, debit direct participants and clients indirect participant. The ISO 20022 based on messages that are processed by the SDD reference application includes PACS 002 is a status notification created within the FTM acknowledgement by any message received from the client. FTM means Financial Transaction Management. PAN 008 is a customer direct debit notification sent by the client. CAMT 005 is a customer payment cancellation request sent by the client. PAN 007 is a customer payment reversal sent by the client. PACS 002 are status messages with information about debit or messages which are sent from a direct participant to a client. These messages may also be status messages sent from debitor reference application to reject, refuse or both a debit request that was received in an IDF from STP2. PACS 002 are status messages which information about debits or messages that are sent from step 2 to direct participant. Usually the SDD reference application convert these to PACS 00 messages and send to the client. PACS 003 is a direct debit request posted by a client to a direct participant. A single PACS 003 message can include a batch of many direct transactions. The SDD reference application can handle batches of debit transaction. PACS 004 is a request by a debitor to return, refund or both a previously settled debit. PACS 007 is a request by a creditor to reverse a previously settled debit. CAMT 056 is a request by the creditor to cancel and unsettled debit request. IDDF is an input debit file message. This is bulk file sent from a creditor or debitor direct participant reference application to step 2. It can contain PACS 03, 02, 04, 07 or CAMT 56 messages that have been received from client. These are held until bulking, or which time they are wrapped in an IDF message and posted to STP step 2. DNF is direct notification file message. This is a bulk file sent from step 2 to the creditor or debitor direct participant reference application. DVF is debit validation file message. This is a file sent from step 2 to direct participants. It contains record corresponding to IDF files. Each record can indicate that an entire IDF was accepted, an entire IDF was rejected, or some debits in IDF were rejected. These will contain in DVF file. RSV is a results of settlement file messages. This is a file sent from step 2 to direct participant. It indicates the success or failure to settle direct debit request. It is a wrapper for PACS 002 status messages. The RSF contains the settlement status for only direct debit transactions only. DRR, direct reconciliation report message. The DRR is sent by step 2 to all the direct participant. It contains total information for a business day, including the number of transactions sent and received and total value debited and credited during business day. The reference application use this message to indicate the settlement activity for a day is completed. So we have discussed some terminologies involved and message form involved in ISO 20022. Now I will give an example for SEPA credit transfer. So this is a clearing settlement mechanism. Originating bank to beneficiary bank, they will send 008 message. If it is rejected, then you will receive 002 for a SEPA credit transfer. Another example, PACS 008 credit transfer payment from participant A to participant B. So it can be through RTGS, real time gross settlement, or high value payment. So then it will be from participant A to participant B will be credit transfer payment. They will send the PACS 008 and it will go to the participant B through RTGS. Then the payment clearing status message will come as 002. If it is returned, then you will get a PACS 004. Any confirmation you will get it through status, you will get it through 002. If it is returned, then you will get a 004. SEPA payment, ISO 20022 migration, RTGS credit transfer payment. PACS 00 reporting rejections are mandatory. PACS 002 reporting positive acknowledgement are optional and should be requested when instructing the payment message. So 002, any acknowledgement you will get 002. If it is PACS 004, it is a return payment. For the SEPA, these are the single payment settlements. So you will not get no CAMT 053 and CAMT 054. In high value payment follows CAMT 05 is not applicable for single payment. Only if it is a batch mode, then you will get a 053. PACS means payment clearing and settlement used in payments. Second one will be shift payment. Through ISO 20022 migration, RTGS, the channel will be RTGS or high value payment, credit transfer payment. If it is shift payment from one institution to another institution, first will be 009, PACS 009. So it will go to the, through RTGS, it will go to the participant B. So any confirmation, payment, clearing status message through 002. This is not mandatory, optional. If it is a return, then you will get a 004. First it will generated from the participant B to the RTGS, and from RTGS it will comes to the participant A to the sender organization. We will discuss more about ISO 20022 in my next video. So please subscribe my channel and share with your friends also. Today only we are discussed about the different terminologies used in ISO 20022 and the keywords only we are discussed. In my next video, will every payment, it may be direct debit or direct credit or swift payment, how these messages will be flown from one organization to other organization, detailed discussion will be there. Thank you friends.